That was never the pledge. We have 2 additional members with questions, and originally this hearing was at 2 o'clock. Are you not able to stay for these?
Congressman, when you asked to change the time 4 times in the last 12 hours, including waking people up at home last night to change the time again.
Ms. Warren, let me be direct with you. I never made a single phone call about this. So be very clear about what you're saying. We have 2 additional members. We have 8 minutes remaining on the floor to vote. If you won't stay around for the questions, then we're going to stay around and we're going to finish this out.
Congressman,
I never heard that you had to leave at 2:15, which is the time.
Congressman, you might want to have a conversation with your staff. When they asked us to move the hearing, we said the only way we could do this is if I could leave here at 2:15 for a meeting that would be at 2:30.
All right, then we're going for questions now. Ms. Yarmouth, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Gentleman yield.
Thank you.
Would the gentleman yield?
I will yield 7.
Chairman, my understanding is that your staff made an agreement with Professor Warren about her appearance today. The agreement was that she would be available to this committee for 1 hour. And pursuant to that agreement, if she accompanied your late-breaking request made by your staff at 9 p.m. last night, that she appear at an earlier time than previously scheduled, you would allow her to leave 1 hour after that at 2:15 p.m. in keeping with the agreement. It is 2:15 now. She kept her side of the bargain, and now it's time for you to keep yours. Mr. Chairman, I respect, out of respect for Professor Warren's schedule and the flexibility she showed to accommodate your request, you should now dismiss this witness and get on with the remainder of the hearing. I mean, in fairness, I mean, we were here.
I certainly appreciate it, and in reaction to you, as the ranking member, the original agreement was that we would have a 2 p.m. hearing in order to accommodate votes, which we expected to be at 1:30. Knowing that the professor is very busy, we don't want to keep witnesses here while we adjourn to go, or recess to go vote. And so we changed the time in anticipation of the vote we were about to have. So rather than gavel in and have opening statements and go to vote and come back 30 minutes later and have an hour of questions, rather than do that, we tried to work with a witness. In exchanging of emails, your staffer, your government affairs staffer, talked to Mr. Holler on the committee staff, and he asked for confirmation on this. He called you up. The government relations head did not respond to your email, called you up and said, I'll do my best to get you out of there, but we need to accommodate people's questions. And so that's where we are today. Mr. Cummings, I understand, and I certainly appreciate your question.
I just want to make it, I know you sound like you already decided, but just one real quick thing. Peter Hallard, according to my staff, changed the time on us a few times. And they bent over backwards, moved things around, and agreed to 1:15 to 2:15. She needed to get out of here by 2:15. That has been constant, and Peter McHenry and his staff knew this.
Peter Holler, you said, okay, because there is no Peter McHenry.
I just want to make it clear. I know you're going to do what you got to do, but out of respect for Ms. Warren, I mean, she's got her own limitations. She's trying to protect our constituents, yours and mine. Big time.
And I would respond to the ranking member. Mm-hmm. I would respond to the ranking member that the date of this hearing was chosen by Ms. Warren. We worked with her and her staff diligently and gave them a number of options. They came back with different options. We accommodated those options in context for a hearing room. We're here to have the former chairman's unveiling of a picture in the main committee room. Right. So that's an accommodation, number one. Number two, we accommodated her schedule. That's why it's on this date. Well, furthermore, I'm skipping this vote, as are you, to have this debate rather than simply allow for a few additional minutes.
I'm going to get my vote in, but the only thing I'm saying is that at the rate we're going, it looks like she'll be here, until about 20 of at least.
Well, actually, I anticipate that the two members will have 5 minutes apiece. And as the gentleman knows, I kept folks to the 5-minute time frame today. So with that, I'm not trying to cause you problems, Ms. Warren, but we're trying to accommodate folks. And if you wanted to stick around, we're going to have 2 more members with questions, and then we'll see you off. It'll be just fine.
You are causing problems. We had an agreement for a later hearing. Your staff asked us to move around so that
Right.
we had to change everything on my schedule to try to accommodate
And I
your
certainly
time.
appreciate that, but
But
the original hearing was 2
agreement
o'clock.
that I would be out of
because you
here
had
at 2:15 because there are other things now scheduled at 2:30.
That was a request, but we moved the hearing so that you could actually get the questions in.
Congressman, you told us one thing.
I did not tell you anything.
We have no one here to ask questions, Mr. Chairman. We have no one here to ask questions.
I have other obligations I committed to based on the representations of your staff and our effort to try to accommodate you and rearrange our schedule to accommodate you.
Look, Ms. Warren, it was a simple request. Your staff had a request. My staff said we're trying to accommodate you. We're going to get you out of here in 10 minutes.
No, Congressman, we had an agreement.
You had no agreement.
We had an agreement for the time this hearing would occur.
You're making this up, Ms. Warren.
You asked it.
You're simply, this is not the case. This is not the case.
Mr. Chairman, you just did something that I'm trying to be cordial here, but you just accused the
She's
lady
accusing me
lying.
of making an agreement that I never
I think
made.
you need to clear this up with your staff.
And I have.
They have moved this thing around 50 million times, and she's got to go to another hearing.
Congressman, not to another hearing, to another meeting.
To another meeting. Congressman,
I would be glad to answer questions for the record. We can do that on, if you'll just send us questions for the record, we're glad to answer them, and they'll be a matter of the public record.
I certainly appreciate that, and I've tried to accommodate you. I just want to be very clear and make sure that this is on the record. There was no agreement about departure time, and I want to just make sure to the ranking member that I didn't make those representations. I've confirmed with my staff before this thing started. The reason why we moved the times is so that she wouldn't have to wait during a vote in the middle of the hearing. So with that, I understand your frustration. But just ask you to see my side of this thing as well, because we thought we had you for more time. I thought I had you for more time.
Most respectfully.
So with that, if the gentleman
yes,
will simmer, I just
no.
I would just say
I'm cool. I just want to make sure she's treated fairly. I mean, that's all.
I understand. We've had more debate than actually the questions were remaining. So with that, Ms. Warren, I appreciate your service to our government. I do.
Thank you.
I was just trying to get on the record a few of these things that we've seen counter to my questions of you back in March of this year. And it is informative and instructive for this committee on the construct of this enormous bureau that you're constructing. And so that's why Congress wants to have this oversight. I thank you for your testimony. I'll dismiss you now, and I'll ask the two members that are not being given the opportunity to ask questions to submit theirs for the record, and I'd ask you to turn around those questions as quickly as you possibly could.
Thank you, Congressman.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much.
All right. And we're going to recess for votes and come back for the second panel.